Today we're not in the museum or the garage, we're in the laboratory. Because we're dealing with electronics and okay, where's the battery, the famous battery? Yeah, here's a famous battery that we have to test, but I've already tested. We don't have to test it. We have to charge these 4 batteries up to voltage. And as I shown you before, well, first there was the data sheet for the specific batteries, and then there was the the Gator graphics of how lithium-ion battery charges. Okay, so they call this a buck controller. It's controls the charging. Well, it's a power supply, and it can be used to charge lithium-ion batteries. And this is smart. Like you can adjust like so much, like 1 milliamp charge for, and then at first it'll build up the voltage up to 4.2 volts, and then that you adjust on here, and then it'll carry 1 milliamp until the batteries are full charge up to 4.2 volts. This is a buck DC to DC. Okay, so because it's DC to DC, you have to feed this, but I forget now. I think it was specifics of this was you had to feed it from we'll say 4 volts, but maybe lower than that, up to 50 volts, something like that. So what I've opted to do was to hang on, put this on the. I've opted to take you know the old computers there. I had a few options, but this is what I ended up with. It's because it's got a fan on it, and I'm gonna paint this black, by the way. And I've cut in the cover. I've cut a place. Hang on, I'll swing this down here so as you can see. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install the buck converter in here like that. Well, yeah, I'm gonna plunk it in more once it's all black. Then I'll have, like you have your power cord that plugs in here. I could put more switches on this, like a switch maybe for the fan. That I'm gonna decide eventually. Like I didn't really decide that yet. But I'll have the banana jacks, probably like you have on your testers, a banana jack, and then we'll be able to plug in the leads and bring in with alligator clamps or whatever, and charge the batteries, positive and negative. So I'm gonna prepare this. I'm gonna paint it. You don't gotta see me paint this. Then I'll bring you back after. This is the next day, and hang on, I'll go turn off the heater. It's this is a new age contraption. Okay, the latest developments. See this here? Ooh, hang on. This here. It's the okay. See, I had cut this opening in. Remember the power supply I had showed you? With the fan and everything. I thought this would be great, and I started sticking the wires together, and I think I did the work on it. I cut the opening for the buck controller here. I cut the opening and I fitted in there and painted it and did all the work, and then started testing it. I think this power supply is burnt. So it was a futile, useless. Here's the, see, this is a, what do you call those? Anyways, full wave rectifiers with two big capacitors. That's a filtration system. They step it down. Ooh. First, see, this is where the power comes in. Then they step it down through this transformer. Then they bring it through the full wave rectification, or maybe it takes it from here to the full wave rectification, filter it, stick it through a capacitor, and then on to better things. They could full wave rectify the AC as it is, then stick it across into a transformer on the far side to step it down. Anyway, neither here nor there. Where we are now is, see this, folks? This is the buck converter, 250 watt converter, and this will be the outputs here. The see, I got all this stuff somewhere, but I had to buy some, I got some test leads. They're not bad, but to plug into these little terminals here, but those are still coming. They're a banana. They call that a banana terminal. You'll plug in, and so this will be the leads that plug in. Now what's left in this is to mount. I have to mount a plug, because what we're going to be using here, hang on, I'll show you. We're going to be using in just a small power supply. This is 13.5 volts at 500 milliamps. So this is what that is, and see, this will plug into that. So then these 2 points here, that'll be your input power. That's my intentions of using the small power supply. But if this isn't big enough, I got some bigger ones, but I gotta change the plugs on them. So I had another one. See this? The beauty of this buck converter, it can take any voltage up to around 50 volts. This one here was output was 9 volts and 1000 milliamps. So, but the voltage was lower, 9 volts. So it's a toss-up, but it'll be the same plug, because these ends here, yeah, and this is DC, by the way. These ends, they're the same size, so should be. I got a few others inside that I've looked at. One of them, it's a big power supply. This, I don't want to put too big, because there's a limit to what's in here, and there's a few heat sinks on the transistors here, and I don't want to heat up this box too much. Well, the insides, because they've been known, these little buck converters have been known to burn, So there's a limit to this, and I don't want to exceed the limit. So okay, that's it for now. Stay tuned, we'll come back as it progresses. You can see, hang on, you can see what it more or less will look like. I had bought this box See, this is gonna be right here, the plug-in mounted inside here. So, and then everything's gonna be more or less in here except the power supply. This is not something to power up to charge a, well, you could charge a car battery with this, but like at 100 or 1.5 milliamps, or very low amount of charge. So hey, stick in there, we'll be back. This another milestone, as you can see, my little power supply, 250 watt DC buck converter, off and on. But that's, I thought that was off and on for the machine, but it's not. It's for something else. I measure, okay, this was supposed to be 12 volts input, but we're inputting 17.6, set at 5 volts, 5.1 amps. I guess that's what's available. I don't know now. Yeah, hang on. See this? It's a little LED readout, and that's the plug. So really, I could have a little switch on here to turn the power on, but like, how complicated do I want to make this? I will plug my banana jacks in here, and I'll have these leads here, and that's what's gonna charge the batteries. But we're not there yet. I still have to receive my banana jack plug-ins, and we're gonna turn the power off on this. I'm happy that this is working. This is a buck converter. This is the newest version. See here, we can change the voltage, we can change the amperage, and we have a memory. I think it's got 10 different memories in here. This is a small, eh? That's the advantage of today and yesteryear. Hang on, I'm gonna get in here. The difference, woo. The difference between yesteryear and the yesteryear and whoa, hey, what's this? Hey, something stuck to the hat. Hang on, I'll unplug this, and hell, woo. Yeah, we'll. So the little power. Oh, I wanted to show you something. Sometimes you want to tell the polarity, eh? Hang on. We'll put, because I didn't want to reverse the polarity on the. Hang on, I gotta get in behind here. Yeah, I wanted to. Didn't want to reverse a polarity on this power supply. So what I did is I took, hang on, we're gonna zoom you in on this here. Oops, where is it? Where this here, right here, the battery. See, that's the battery is known. Okay, now we're gonna put this on 20 volts, but I know there's only, these are rechargeable batteries, eh? And not too much charge. But see, if I go, I know which polarity this is. This on here, this is a negative, and this is the positive. So, like, I just got my terminals hooked up here, and I don't know which is which. So I connect like this, I get a negative reading. So I switch around, I go like this, I get a positive on the meter. So this is a known source, okay? Now I check my power supply. I go to the outside and I go to the inside. See, 19.2 with the red probe on the inside of the power supply, the plug on the inside. I get a positive reading on the meter. Because I'm getting a positive reading, I've established that the outer side is your negative and the inside is the positive, because this is a DC source. So and I believe, but let's say, okay, let's say I cut the wires here. Boom, I cut the wires, I split them apart. I take my meter, I hook one up and hook the other one up to these individual wires here. If I get a positive reading, then whichever one the red's on, that'll become my red wire. Whichever one the black's on will become the negative. So it'll be positive and negative wires. This here is I don't know. It's made out of latex, I think. It's a sealing gasket for this little box. And anyways, I just thought I'd bring it back just to show you, like, if you're not sure of your polarity, you take something that has a known polarity and then you just transfer it with your meter and you're off to the races. So this looks good. All that's left to get is the banana connectors. I'm gonna chop these off right now. No use to keep them on there. I'll put these in a safe place. And I'll forget, I'll forget where they are. See, this here is already so, hey, these wires aren't too big, I'll tell you that. But that's it. That's all we need. We're talking about milliamps, eh? But I could have I think I could have bought. They look good from the outside. They look good from far, but they're far from good.
I think it has developed another conclusion.